Did Gavin Newsom just fat-shame Donald Trump? You'll need to stick around to find out, but I can tell you now, the scale is definitely tipping in that direction. Let's assume that he did. You may be asking, what led to Newsom having a laugh at the expense of Trump's expanding waistline? Well, it just might have been a result of Trump's Secretary of War doing similar to his top brass during a hastily arranged conference today. Keep in mind that many of the leaders in attendance dropped whatever they were doing and traveled 8,000 miles only to be fat-shamed by Pete Hegseth. Watch as the secretary leans into his order to get lean with a line he thought would get a reaction, but the high-ranking audience had a very low opinion of the humor.
Should our enemies choose foolishly to challenge us, they will be crushed by the violence, precision, and ferocity of the War Department. In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you. It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are. So whether you're an airborne ranger or a chairborne ranger, a brand new private or a four-star general, you need to meet the height and weight standards and pass your PT test. And as the chairman said, yes, there is no PT test. But today, at my direction, every member of the joint force at every rank is required to take a PT test twice a year, as well as meet height and weight requirements twice a year, every year of service. Also today, at my direction, every warrior across our joint force is required to do PT every duty day. Should be common sense. I mean, most units do that already, but we're codifying it. And we're not talking like hot yoga and stretching. Real hard PT, either as a unit or as an individual. At every level, from the Joint Chiefs to everyone in this room to the youngest private, leaders set the standard. And so many of you do this already. Active, Guard, and Reserve.
So that was the Secretary of War admonishing generals and admirals with, if I can do physical training, you can too. And that brings me to Gavin Newsom, whose press office has been busy exercising their satire muscles lately. And Pete received the first shot today with a Simpsons-like cartoon that read, Pete at his big meeting this morning. But that was just a little something to snack on. The main course was reserved for Trump, and that post read, it's completely unacceptable to see a fat commander-in-chief in the halls of the White House. And on his personal account, he posted, I guess the commander-in-chief needs to go. But it wasn't all fun and games. The California governor also posted, this speech should terrify anyone who cares about our country. Declaring war on our nation's cities and using our troops as political pawns is what dictators do. This man cares about nothing but his own ego and power.
The Democrats run most of the cities that are in bad shape. We have many cities in great shape too, by the way. I want you to know that. But it seems that the ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out. It'll be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war too. It's a war from within. Controlling the physical territory of our border is essential to national security. We can't let these people in, but because the left doesn't want to hear that. But we're running it based on common sense and based on love of our country. But I want to salute every service member who has helped us carry out this critical mission. It's really a very important mission. And I told Pete, we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
At the end of these reports, I usually provide some summary and analysis, and in this case, I'll keep it simple. With regards to Newsom's biting satire, I approve. With regards to Trump and Hegseth's leadership of our military and misusing it as a MAGA police force in our cities, I cannot disapprove enough. We must never forget that Donald Trump, our commander-in-chief, was a bone spur-claiming draft dodger who received 5 military draft deferments. And Pete Hegseth, who once served in the National Guard, was a part-time anchor on Fox News before being plucked to lead generals and admirals by Trump. But in the interest of fair and balanced reporting, I'll give him the final word.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game, but then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it, but this is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he sought his own 5 military deferments.